coming in at 9 a.m. and I had at 5 p.m. just your regular 9 to 5. It's been insightful. It's been a great experience. It's taught me a lot about the industry and what it's really like to work for a firm. Also just being on site, traveling around Singapore, hopping around in and out of the car, from site to site, whether it's just reviewing an empty building or office to full-on construction site, people moving in and out of rooms. Like today, we went to the Hard Rock Hotel. In the college admissions process, I wanted to have some work experience under my belt before I applied. Also just to know what the industry was like. And my father works in real estate, so obviously no direct ties to any more specialized forms of engineering. But we did come across a friend of his, Mark, and that's how I first got introduced to mixed polling services. I looked into it and I conjured up a resume, and then I sent it through Mark by my dad. And a few emails back and forth, and he offered me placement this week. How technical and standardized the process of engineering is in general. From intenders to implementing projects and designs, and also just logistics behind the scenes, having the right forms of communication, making sure that everyone's up to date and that updates or changes are agreeable. That the language, for one, was really hard to decipher. There's lots of abbreviations and terms that different firms will use, and lots of protocols, super formal, super technical, super standardized, but it has to be that way. At least for construction and civil engineering, structural engineering, there are people's lives at risk. So I guess it's just health and safety, toned up to the max. The Bluebeam software and looking at tenders wasn't that foreign to me because I had previously done design and tech at O levels or IGCSEs. I was familiar with CAD software and that it was easy to go through and use legends and understand it. But when it came to transferring all that information and quantities to an Excel sheet, I didn't know what was most appropriate for what people were actually going to use it. The first iteration I had, the first draft I had on the sheets, everything was super precise. Hassan came to talk to me and said, it doesn't need to be that specific. If there's a component, if it's just different in any sort of way, it doesn't matter what type of downlights it is, as long as it's downlight, for example. You can group them together and it's easier to quantify that way because it doesn't have to be that precise at the beginning. It's just to estimate a budget, takeoffs. So yeah, and once I had that down, the rest was easy. I become much more efficient and fluent with transferring tenders, technical drawings into digestible sheets and informations and numbers, just so we can tally up budgets and costs. Before, I grew up in Singapore before I went to Phuket, so I saw buildings everywhere, they're just these concrete structures, but now I got to speak to engineers and architects. I really do have an appreciation of how much planning and technicalities that go into the construction, planning, engineering of a building. Every time I look around now, especially the architecture you find in Singapore, I find it so fascinating, so marvelous that humans were able to sprout these up from the ground. I don't think I could look at a building saying, especially pipes and lighting,